Okay, so for the week 3 discussion, let's take a look at the Know Thy Customer data set for Microsoft Excel. Here we're going to do a mean, median, standard deviation, and range for income and age. So let's get started. Let's do the mean first, and if you remember, that's average. And we're doing this for income. Okay, now let's do the same thing for age. Here we go. Okay, and let's go ahead and round this up for age and put our $ on for income. So our average age is 42 years old, and the income average is $27,524.03. So hopefully that's not how much somebody is making at 42 years old, but who knows? Maybe it is. Maybe this is, I don't know. I don't know where this data set comes from. I'm curious now to see what the income is, just really what the range is, which we'll talk about here in a second, but $5,014 up to $63,000. So I don't know if this is an income based off of maybe let's say this is how much they earn for publishing a book or something like that, because it's not much income if that's what we're going to look at earning per year. Okay, so let's get back on track here. Sometimes I get off track. Median. Let's do the median. And here we have the median for income. And we want the median also for age. Okay. Now we want the standard deviation. And if you remember last time we used standard deviation, STDEV. Let's do that again. And hit OK. That's for income. Now we'll do this. The standard deviation for age. Let me show you how to do this without using that function bar. You can just type it in by typing in equals STDEV, and then you have to tell it what you're going to do. So we still want to do it by age, and then close your parentheses, and there you go. So that's our standard deviation. Let's round that off again and put our $ here. Now the range. If you remember the last time we did this, we did it with min and max. So I think that's an easy way to do this. Again, I showed you, you could just simply look at the numbers where you have people ages 18 to 67. So if you wanted to type that in, you could, but let's do it with the formula. So here we're going to do min for the income. We want min for the age. Oh, there we go. And we'll do max for the income and max for the age. Okay. So there we have it, ages 18 to 67, and our income range is $5,014.21 to $63,130.10. And we'll make that a little bit wider. Okay. So there we have our information. Now what we want to do is include a histogram of the data. And would it be reasonable for a histogram to include any other information in here? So let's do a histogram. Let's see here of income. If we go to insert charts, and then this is similar to what we saw in our last video. But here we have the chart title for income. Last time it was for the real estate selling prices, but here's an income real estate, or rather income histogram. and that works. Now, I want to also show you in this one how to do a pivot table. Pivot tables are fantastic if you're looking at a lot of data. Now this goes down, if I go, let me go back to the top here. If I hit Control and down arrow, it takes me all the way to the bottom. So we have 600 items in this data set. That's a pretty big data set. So the pivot table is handy to really have powerful analysis very quickly. Let me show you how to do that. I did that too fast. So insert up here on your toolbar, pivot table. Make sure that you see the little dotted lines around here. Make sure that that's covering the whole table, which it is, and hit OK. Now what we can do here is just take a look at maybe the age. In this case, that's telling us the sum of age, and I don't need to know the sum, but we could look at changing the filter settings. Maybe I want to know the average. We just looked at that. So the average age, 42 years old. Maybe I want to know how many females we have. So instead of the sum, maybe I want to know count. So here we have a count. And it looks like we have 600 females. Now, if we go back to the data, this is why I love pivot tables and Microsoft Excel, because you can really look at the data. Assuming 0 is maybe yes and 1 is no, then we can see that that's not necessarily the case. Let's look at, take age off, and let's look at the female counts here with rows. Now we can see it's an even split. We have 300 zeros and 300 ones. And just to double check, if I come over here to our filter and I hit the 0, I should get a 300 down here in the bottom, and I do if you see that in the little corner. And clearly that would be the same if I hit number 1. So 300 down here. Going back to the data and clear that so we can get our full data set back. Now if I wanted to look at how many people are married, I can take a look at count again. Usually count makes more sense than sum. But we also need to drag that down here to the rows so you can see. And typically, yes is the first option. So yes as a 0. We have 204 people married and 396 people not married. Now, if I want to start to bring in some more intuitive information, maybe I want to look at how many of those married people have children. Well, here we go. We have, if this is, in fact, a yes, we have 221 children with married couples and 386 people, or 386 children with non-married couples. Okay, and then just for fun, let's take a look at the income level now. And this time, let's look at the average for those groups. So we've got, see, we need to have the count of kids, not the sum. It defaults to sum, and that always throws me, but let's do that. And let's do an average for the income levels. Interesting that $27,000 either way, whether they're married or not, it's just not much income. So I'm not sure what that data set refers to. But so this is how you can play with the data and really make some comparisons side by side. So I'd like for you to play with it and include that with your week 3 discussion. With that, it's also asking you to do, let's see, I think it said to include a managerial report, but maybe that was something else. Okay, so nope, in this one, all we need to do is run your analysis, mean and standard deviation, develop a histogram, and then play with the data a little bit more. I want to see how creative we can get with the pivot table and any other analysis that you would want to bring in for this data set. All right, thank you and have a great day.